What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. My name is JC. With me is my wife Tina.
Hi guys.
We got Jericho over there.
Yo.
And Tez right here.
Howdy, hey there, and hello.
Love that intro. All right. Reminder again, our Twitter account. Give us a follow at @CCG_WrestleCast. Send us a comment. Let us know what you think about any upcoming wrestling shows. Maybe something you'd like for us to talk about. Today, we're going to recap the recent Hell in a Cell pay-per-view from WWE. This guy was there. We'll get a lot of his reaction on how the crowd was that we didn't see on TV and even after off the air. We'll get into some predictions on where we'll recap the match, and we'll get into some predictions on where this show is going to go down to the Road to Super Showdown down in Melbourne. And that's pretty much a rundown for our show. We'll see. We'll have a little fun here, see how this goes. Yeah, I'll probably cut that out. All right. Anyway.
Don't cut that.
Yeah, I'm not going to cut that.
All right.
Anyway, so we'll start with pre-show for Hell in a Cell, the match that we predicted was going to be on the pre-show because the New Day just can't seem to escape that. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the New Day defending against Rusev Day, Rusev and Aid in English. Jericho, Tina, and myself got this one right. That New Day retained the titles. And the New Day team, of course, was Kofi and Big E. So... you were there. What were your reactions to the match? Did it get the crowd going?
The one thing I do like about what some of the pre-show matches are doing is that the matches are actually very good and entertaining. And even this one, like a lot of matches, has a slow start, but then the crowd really got into it. Technically, the crowd was into it before the match started when New Day came down.
Of course.
And that's always a good time. And then in English interrupted them, and they had the little back and forth, and that was great. I did love how during the match, Xavier, I believe he was still throwing flapjacks into the crowd.
Did you catch any?
I did not catch any. I was too far to catch any. I will give you guys a picture and post so you can stick wherever you want. So it's here.
I think you posted a picture on your Facebook. I might throw that behind us here.
I did. You can grab my cover pic. That's basically a panorama of where my seat was.
I did love in the pre-match promo where Xavier Woods went all Vince McMahon. Hell,
that was great. It's such a fun voice to do.
I loved the. I guess I can call it the Doomsday double stomp. I forget who had him over his shoulders and the double stomp.
Yes,
that was an amazing spot.
I mean, and Aiden English was a workhorse in that match.
Oh, yeah.
He showcased what he could do, and they really played up. I know we talked about him or Lana possibly screwing it up for the team.
Yes.
And the whole miscommunication seemed to play out. So,
yeah.
And I did love Aiden English doing Rusev's Allocate.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I got
trying to.
That got a good laugh from the crowd and the people I was around. That got a really good laugh.
If anything, this did showcase just how good Aiden English is. In case you forgot, it had been so long since we'd really seen him showcase what he can do. And then, of course, on SmackDown, he does turn on Rusev after Rusev or kind of cost Rusev the U.S. Championship.
After his rant that Lana caught him,
Yes.
and then Lana was trying to tell Rusev, but Rusev was all like, "No, I have to prepare
Focused
for the
on my
match."
match.
Yeah.
Such a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
What?
Well.
Okay. Whatever.
The woman was trying to warn him. Just saying.
No. Yeah. Well.
His wife was trying to warn him.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like.
So I'm telling you, like,
It's got a little more credence than that.
you gotta listen.
Just some chick.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, the match I think did a great job of getting the crowd going. That led into the main show. We started off actually before the show started. I think in the pre-show, I think Paige or somebody announced that this was going to start the show. It was Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell, and I think we talked about this one first last show as well. Myself and Tina got this one right, picking her boyfriend Randy Orton. But Hardy said, "I'm going to do something people will never forget before the match," and I think he accomplished that.
He definitely did. It was great to book the Hell in a Cell matches first and last. And,
that was good.
Yeah, and the match overall was entertaining. Even Randy Orton's style is much more methodic. It still had the crowd just glued to what he was going to do, and then with the bring out the ladders and the chairs and the
Oh my.
They got everything involved.
They got everything
Yes.
involved. But I will tell you, I never felt such a collective, just like silent, impending panic when we saw Randy grab the screwdriver.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Just
was gonna get to that next.
Imagine how you
God.
felt by yourself watching him do that with
Yeah.
his fingers on SmackDown leading up to this. Imagine 15,000 people all
man.
like cringing at the same time. It was the
And you could
weirdest
hear
feeling
it.
in
We
the
were
world.
all,
Yes.
yeah, we were
It was the
Crowd.
strangest feeling in
me
the
and
world
him
being
were at
in that
home
place.
just like,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when you hear the crowd zoom, you know,
was
they
like,
zoomed in, you hear the
no,
crowd like, ah.
You're like, no.
The funny part is that's how she reacted at first, and then she's like, "This is awesome."
yeah, I did say
Because
that.
anything Randy does is she loves it.
Because then he started like laughing and smiling, and I was like,
Jericho, we know you love horror movies. What do you think of that?
Yes. we were actually eating dinner when that match started.
Oh, really?
And
Whoops.
I got up.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, I have to see this.
Yeah.
And because he started twisting it,
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
It
oh
was.
my God. And I was expecting like to see a tear or like
or like he's
blood,
gonna rip it. I was
something,
like,
yeah.
oh.
I'm like maybe because it was big enough where he can mess with it. And,
Yeah.
you could tell, but it was awesome.
Yes. It
Like that was so cool. And like
Yeah.
that
Well,
was,
I mean, people get those gauges in their ears, and I guess they finally served a purpose entertainment-wise, right?
That's
So,
right.
uh,
But that ending.
Oh, the
that
God,
ending,
I will say the anticipation of watching Jeff set up the ladders and then Randy on the table. He was getting on the smaller ladder, and we all thought, oh, he's going to leapfrog over.
He's done that before.
Yeah, he's done
Yeah.
it before. And, oh no, he's gonna. Seen the referee hold the small one,
Yeah.
ready for him to go, and then he's like,
Yeah.
"Now I'll go to the big one." The ref's like, "Fine."
yeah.
Grabs the bigger one in the middle. Okay, he's gonna jump off of that, and then we're like, "What's taking
No.
him so long?"
It reminded me.
Dangle.
I think
Yes.
there was a Lethal Lockdown years ago in TNA where AJ Styles went on top of the cage,
Yes.
grabbed the scaffolding from the ceiling,
Yeah.
and did a splash onto a table. I forget who was lying on there.
Yeah.
It was years ago. I remember that, and it reminded me. As soon as he grabbed the top, I was like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah. So and then the belly face flop through the
Oh.
table.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
That was, and then none of us knew what was happening. We saw him run on an instant replay on the Tron on the screens, and we're like, oh, that's face and upper chest first.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like no blocking
Yeah.
of any kind, no
Yeah.
breaking his fall.
he got his hands up. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
they're
can see
selling
his
the
hands.
injury angle. I'm hoping he's okay.
Yeah.
But you got your Hell in a Cell moment, Jeff. Even though
Yeah.
you said on Lillian's podcast this week you wanted to do a swanton off the top of the cell.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
nuts,
assuming,
man.
I'm assuming.
That would've been
I'm
great.
assuming.
You're not doing that.
I'm assuming Vince was like, "Oh hell no."
Exactly.
Yeah, you said it was more like, I have kids now. I'm older. I don't know if I could do that, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that's his thing.
I haven't
Um,
heard it yet. I need to hear it today.
Yeah.
or
What
tomorrow.
did y'all think of the red cell, by the way? Because they streamed the day before when they were building.
How
it.
do you feel about that? Like, how did it? Did
Did it mess up your sight
Did it
lines?
mess? Yeah, did it mess up the visually?
It didn't. It just kind of, because even with the old cell's color, it just from a distance, it's just you don't really see much, and then you're trying to see in there. But with the bright red color, it increases your focus into what's going on in the ring, and it
Oh.
has a nice little pop and nice little accent to everything. It became a focus, and I guess in the picture you'll show of the panorama from my seat, it'll help get that point across. And even watching clips of it on YouTube from the camera and from everyone else who was watching on the network on pay-per-view, it still looks good.
Yeah, we were just wondering because we were like seeing it. We're like, "Oh my God, the cell's red," and then
Yeah.
Obviously on
I
TV
didn't
they
hear
have
anything
they
really
have
negative about it.
yeah obviously on TV they have two cameramen inside the cell,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
not really blocking our view. But I wonder how the crowd.
yeah, we were
inside
just
reacted.
wondering if it was hard for the crowd to see it.
Yeah.
It drew our attention toward it.
Well,
It did its
no,
purpose
it
then,
was
I guess so.
It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, it worked.
Great match, Jeff. You got your Hell in a Cell moment. I hope definitely a great opening match.
Oh yeah.
Now, this one we said the match that had probably the most and best build up, and it came in pretty early in the show, I think. But
Yeah.
the beauty of this card is that every match was very, very well done, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, we got towards the end of the show, and we're like, man, this has actually been a really good show.
Yeah, one of the few best pay-per-views in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
And for a B pay-per-view as well.
Yeah,
For a
exactly.
pay-per-view,
Sometimes
It's
they're
not
exactly.
even a big.
sometimes they're kind of thrown together, especially when it was every brand had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte defending against Becky Lynch. We all picked Becky. We all got it right. I think we were all happy. Was this
Yes.
top of the night?
It definitely was.
Yeah.
Even when it started, and I was booing hard when Charlotte came. And most people
So
in my
you
section
booed the
were
woo?
We booed the woo. We booed the woo. And that it's so amazing when you're at a live show, and then that particular match is when the people were already just excited from the first Hell in a Cell match, and then this one the crowd just like woke up even more, and I saw a lot of Becky Lynch signs.
You brought it up. There's
Yes.
reports
Yes,
conflicting
yeah.
that signs were confiscated.
And
We've seen signs that said anything that was anti-Charlotte, like "I boo the woo" signs being taken, or
No, they were actually, from what I read, they were taking away signs that supported Charlotte and
supported Becky.
And were against Charlotte, any kind of anti-Charlotte.
I still saw a bunch of those signs before, during, after the match.
Well,
Yeah.
We're sneaky in San Antonio.
people
We
do
sneak that
people
stuff
do
in.
sneak in
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true.
Maybe
That's
there was
true.
maybe there were supposed to be more signs, and they took most of them out. So there's only a few that you saw.
That's possible, and if that's true, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I can understand if there anything vulgar or anything like that.
But I don't
did that,
understand
but-
either. If you're building Becky to be this big heel, then wouldn't you want those signs? As far as the, like we boo the woo and all
Yeah.
that stuff against Charlotte.
Yeah.
You want those signs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want probably I would understand why they're like, we don't want anybody supporting Becky because we want her to be a heel. But at the same time,
It's not.
it's just the sign.
Maybe Rick got involved. He's like, I don't want
I don't
that.
know, well-
Don't be doing
That's
that
it.
with my
That's my
daughter.
daughter.
WWE has a history of doing this, though. Anything anti-Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
They've been known to put in crowd cheers or change crowd reactions
yeah.
or change crowd
In
signs
place,
in
yeah.
replays with Roman Reigns. You go back to when TNA was big. If you wore a TNA shirt to a WWE show and you were going to be on camera shot, they made you turn it inside out. Or they took away TNA signs. And I don't know how to feel about that. It's like, you know, you guys are paying money to be there. If it's for what's going on in the show, it shows. I mean, Cena said it once in an interview. I don't care if they boo me or they cheer me. They're reacting.
Yeah.
That's the important
That's
thing.
true.
They're into it.
Yeah.
Well,
People are going to
they're
cheer.
I
invested.
understand wearing
They're
a TNA
invested.
to a WWE shirt because it's rival companies or whatever, like different
Back
companies.
then,
so-
I
It's
guess.
not sort
But
of
But
during
even
the-
then, you can't tell a
during that
person, hey, take
3-month
your
Monday
shirt
Night
off.
War.
yeah.
yeah,
You know?
although nowadays you see so many Bullet Club shirts at a WWE
Right.
event.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
and who cares? You know,
Yes.
so I mean, I just
This
that's
point,
my,
wrestling is wrestling.
Yeah, look at
wrestling is
these.
wrestling. But if it's within your show, I mean, if it's nothing vulgar, if they're saying
Yeah.
I boo
Yeah.
the woo, which if you're a fan of a character, whether they're a heel or a baby face, that people show their fandom. Now I can understand taking down signs of people that are like in the way of the hard camera.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
different. But if it's just
And it's a production issue.
then it's a
Yeah.
production
Or if
issue.
it's like a bullying thing or something,
yeah,
kind.
so
Like it's
some-
really
something,
bad
yeah.
sign, then I understand
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Back to the match, though. This was a very technical match.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
very impressed. I mean, I knew both of them could wrestle, but to see this on this stage, two people that really knew each other, and they showcased it.
Yeah.
I was saying that that the way that they built up this match was the way they should have built up Bailey and Sasha,
Yes.
and they ruined that one.
Yeah.
And then made them friends. I don't know what's going on with
Yeah,
that.
it's kinda-
But
You
if
know,
they
you know the
would
thing
have
about
done,
tag teams eventually.
but if they
turn on
would have
each
done
other.
something similar or done this with Bailey and Sasha, it would have been great. Like they know each other so well. Well, so do these two.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah.
They know each other pretty
Yeah.
damn well in the ring, and it showed.
Yep.
That was probably one of the best matches that night.
It's definitely one of the best matches. Period.
Yeah.
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 especially for women's.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was the match. We got our first Hell in a #HellInACell #1 trend worldwide on Twitter. They show that on TV. I don't know if they showed that to you guys.
Yeah.
I also heard reports that people were a little upset that it wasn't in the cell, and that I also heard that maybe Vince didn't want it to be in a cell. Now, mind you, they haven't had a cell match since 2016 in that cell with two women,
Yeah. It's
and that was
Sasha
Charlotte and Sasha. Yeah, and so I
That was
guess
the main event, wasn't it?
I don't know what
It was
the-
a main event.
I don't know what the hesitation is to put them again in the cell. Maybe because they're still scared that the women will get hurt, but at the same time, it's like you can't
Let them
give
decide
it to
do
them
that.
and then take it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
May have something to do with evolution being around the corner.
They want
don't-
to keep everyone healthy, I
Yeah,
guess.
wanna keep more people-
We'll see.
Maybe.
I hope the reason isn't just that they're women. That they can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
they've shown
they can.
Now,
Prove
granted,
it time and time again.
Sasha and Charlotte back then, it didn't. I mean, people had high expectations. Maybe it didn't live up to some people's expectations. Of course, because Sasha didn't break through the table at the end, but
At the same time, she's like.
I know it's
she's-
trial and error.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if they feel they can do it and they're able to do it, I know you're protecting your asset, but still. As far as the finish of this match, I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Using Charlotte's momentum against her.
Yeah.
And you know your best friend. You know how they wrestle.
Yeah, and
so.
you know how to reverse everything from
Yes.
her. It was great.
Yeah.
I was like, she's gonna reverse it.
Probably the biggest.
And then
biggest
she did it,
pop
and I
of
was like,
that
oh my
night
gosh, she did
it.
Was Becky winning. That was the biggest pop of the night.
You said it. My friend Anthony, who was also at the show, he texted us like immediately after, was like, this crowd popped like crazy. And you said, and I quote, not many have beaten Charlotte, including Asuka.
Yeah.
I said that later in the night, but yeah, I was
Yeah.
telling you, like the fact that they
That's still a sore spot.
the fact the
It's still a
fact
sore spot for me.
that Becky did win that match, it says a lot about Becky right now, as far as her momentum and how well she's doing the role of being the heel, or I think she's more of a tweener.
Yeah.
But she, for her to beat Charlotte, that says a lot.
Yeah.
You're talking about, what is she, like 6-7 time champion?
Charlotte?
Charlotte?
Yeah.
Rough-
Becky's now a two-time champion.
roughly.
Yeah, and Becky, this is only her second time. But for them to, yes, like she's her best friend, and for her to be the one to know her moves and everything like that. But yes, there's not a lot of women that could say that they beat Charlotte multiple times.
Yep.
And she beat her, and yes, like I said, that even includes Asuka. Asuka did not beat her; she lost her streak because Charlotte beat her.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It says a lot about Becky, and we've all probably said this before. Becky's one of the best wrestlers in the company,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
not just
Yeah.
in the women, in the company.
She didn't accept
Absolutely.
the handshake, so I hope this means she's going to keep this attitude going. I love it.
Yes.
And then
Oh, yeah.
they have their rematch coming up at Super Showdown. I hope it's another great match, and I hope Becky comes out on top because let's not have another can't defend it, man.
Yeah.
Keep it up,
Yeah. Not another Charlotte Sasha thing where they'll just trade off the title.
Yeah, that would
Either on
that would
pay-per-views
suck.
or on
I would
TV.
hate that.
Yeah.
Just go back and forth. Like, oh, we're already trying to get
It's
your
like,
daughter
know-
to get 16
know
times.
what you're
16 times.
doing.
Yeah. Next, we have the Raw Tag Team Championship, the Dogs of War, your favorite
Yeah.
team name.
I love that name so much.
Dolph and Drew McIntyre defending against Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins of the Shield. We all said Dogs of War. We all got it right. I mean, this match is just high energy. That's
Yes.
the biggest thing I wrote down. It was a high energy match. It was.
Yeah.
They brought everybody back down after such a high moment,
Yeah.
and then worked everyone back up. And the crowd, from at least on TV, seemed like they were behind Rollins and Ambrose. Obviously,
Yeah, of course. There's still, of course, you gotta be. I mean, no surprise, people are behind the 2/3 of the Shield.
the other
but
third not so much.
yeah,
How loud was it in there when everyone yell, burn it
Yes, we did.
down"?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yes, we
I just
did.
want to, like, that's the one thing I was telling JC. Like, I wish we would have gone just so I could say that.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah.
scream,
Yeah.
burn it down.
Oh,
You still yell it at the TV.
That's
yeah.
true.
Not just
I don't
yelling,
yell it at the
it wasn't
TV. The
just
kids are
yelling.
there, so I'm just
we
like,
were
burn
actually
it
like
down.
screaming it, like our voices hurt, our
Yeah.
throats hurt after screaming it. But I had to say another like big like holy crap moment. In my opinion, goes to that match's MVP was Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
He was on point at every point in that match. When he did a kip up, everyone was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
everyone was like,
Yeah.
Can't remember ever seeing him do that.
Yeah, when he
It's not
did it,
been
I
a
was like,
while.
he can do it?
Mhm.
So,
yeah,
Yeah.
and
guess everyone can now, apparently.
and,
Apparently.
yeah. I mean, that was just a fun match. Again, like some matches start off slow to get into the groove of things, but then once it did, the near finishes.
Yeah.
That was. I'm so glad this came on after the. Everyone was happy after the women's title match, women's title match, and then we get this one, and it's equally just as fun to watch, and we're all
SmackDown
in
Women's
it.
Title, you mean?
SmackDown Women's
Yeah,
Title.
yeah. Yeah, that was fun to watch. This felt like a classic heel tag team as far as the Dogs of War. I think you probably saw that too, Jericho. Just
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
keep him
Yeah.
in the corner.
Yep.
We tagged in. No, he didn't. He didn't see it. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part. Well, one of the favorite parts was when McIntyre like called out Dean Ambrose. He's like,
Yeah.
like he pointed to him,
Yeah.
And Dean was like, all right, and just gets in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, man, he's
Yeah.
ready to take him.
And Dean's all like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
He's just like,
He's pacing
You
back
calling
and
me?
forth. And,
Yeah.
"You calling me?"
That was
That
the
was
other
awesome.
best part was watching Dean outside on the ring apron, just reacting to everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And he's so great at that. When I was even thinking about when regular tag team partners are just kind of standing there, and sometimes they clap to get
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or do this. He is pacing back and forth, just pointing, throwing his hands in the air, looking angry, looking nuts. That was just fun to watch. Sometimes I wasn't paying attention to the match; I was watching him.
Yeah. So at this point, we got our WWE Championship again. Too early on the card, I think.
So at this
This is
point,
annoying.
during the last match, I decided I'm gonna go take my son to bed. It was already it was still early. It was like 7:30, I want to
Yeah,
say.
this is usual nap time.
And
but yeah.
I'm about to go upstairs to take him, and I think we took Audie upstairs at the same time.
Yeah.
And we were both. While I was holding my son, he was holding Audie, and we're walking upstairs. We're like, "What's match is next before we go upstairs?" And then they announced WWE Champion, and both of us are like, "Right now, seriously?"
Yeah.
Oh, and we both ran upstairs, tried to rock the kid. She put the kid Audie down. I put my baby down, and we ran back down. And we're like, "Seriously, this is next? Why is this next? Why is this not main event again?"
I
Their
may have a prediction. We'll get to that.
Oh,
Prediction.
okay.
Okay. That this better eventually be a main event. It's the freaking belt with the longest,
It is.
It's
history
the
on it.
WWE Championship.
Exactly.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
And that is very true.
Mm-hmm.
What's also true is the building up the prestige and the importance of the belt we didn't see for almost 2 years on Raw. And then the person who's holding said championship currently and who's booking the show.
No, I get that.
Unfortunately, that's the thought that immediately came to my mind was, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Fine.
Yeah,
It's
fine.
just whatever, I don't know. I mean, still, the match was great.
Yes.
We went from high energy to, again, AJ and Samoa Joe working as veterans, bringing the crowd down, bringing it back up.
Yep. Smart.
And it was crazy at the end. Now, the pin, he reversed the coquina clutch. Now, I'm trying to think
yeah.
of the
That was
angle
great.
you were at. Obviously, we didn't really see the tap
tap.
live on TV.
No.
No.
Not
it
from
was
my seat.
The angle was in the camera. was
Opposite
on the
hard
wrong
cam,
angle.
ref was the opposite.
Yep.
And then obviously y'all didn't see it until they replayed it on the
Yep.
screen, I assume, when we saw it.
And the collective, whoa.
Yeah.
we're going to get another match out of this.
Yeah.
Because every time they go against each other, I feel like almost every time they go against each other, the matches are somewhat tonally different. This felt much different than their match from SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And still both were very fun matches to watch with a lot of action and a lot of back and forth. And just it was great seeing the Muscle Buster almost come out again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They
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 show it
didn't
and they take
build-
it away from us.
they didn't build this one up as much as they did the last one.
Yeah.
They built a little bit up, but not like last
Yeah.
time when they were literally.
It tells me
getting
they have a
personal.
long-term plan. I know they're about to
Yeah.
wrestle no DQ, no count out in Melbourne,
Yeah.
which has me wondering if that's going to go to like a no contest finish, no count out. Excuse me, no DQ, no count out.
Yeah.
But it could be like a double count out or some. I don't know. They'll find some way to extend this. I hope. I don't mind seeing it over and over
I think we
again.
may
but-
talk about that a little later in the show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess he's going to. We'll see.
I guess so.
Let's see. All right. So we all said AJ. We all got that right.
Yeah.
Although there's a little controversy, we're all going to take the W. So
And
The ref's
I'm gonna
decision is
be,
final. He
I'm
can
gonna be
apologize
like
all
the
he
Miz.
wants.
In the
Yeah.
record books, it says
Exactly.
AJ
There you go.
Styles won that match.
And that has to be my favorite match of the night, honestly.
Yeah.
really,
It was really
Yeah.
good because
Yeah.
I didn't care who was going to win.
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
here.
You know, I was like either way, but I mean, and it's part of me as I'm watching it. Part of me did predict, like it's going to be, pin plus AJ's going to be
Some sort of
tapping on the other side.
controversial,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Okay, so yeah.
but man, seeing Samoa Joe's face
Yeah.
after
Go from
great
like-
reaction.
go from
too.
100 to 0.
Yeah.
That
Like,
was
what?
It's like, come
it's
on.
instantly.
It's a great reaction. I thought he should have just thrown the ref like out of the ring or something. Just throwing
Yeah.
him around, just to piss. She's pissed off.
I thought that's where it was going to go too. I was like, that ref better run.
Yeah. Well, I love backstage. He was like, "See that? See that?"
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, sorry. Yeah,
My bad.
like
Yeah.
that. That's gonna change it.
My bad, bro.
Next, we got our mixed tag match, Yes Mode, against Miz and Mrs. Miz and Maurice. Tina and Jericho got this one right when Maurice had basically 1 minute in the ring and basically got the pin.
Such a good heel victory, though.
It's a heel victory, but it was like they kind of screwed up the roll up at the end. I was like, okay,
Yeah, that too.
You know,
That
Well,
too.
I put it in the sense that they're both rusty.
yeah.
Maurice more so.
Bree has Bree has had a little bit
definitely.
more practice because she had some few matches before, but Maurice hasn't really had a match because even the match she had with Bree, 1-on-1, she'd never even wrestled. She kept getting out of the ring
Yep.
or doing something else to kind of divert from doing that.
Yep.
And so I was like, I think she just hasn't been training, and it's understandable. She has a kid now,
Right.
Yeah.
and she has other things that she has to take care of. But yeah, they did kind of mess up
Yeah.
the pin thing, and I was like, oh well. But
Something to note: everybody got their own entrance music.
oh yeah,
Yeah, which
that
is pretty
was
cool.
nice.
yeah,
it
that was
wasn't,
kind of cool. I was
It
surprised.
wasn't
a little
husband
bit.
and wife coming in on the husband's music.
When Maurice's music plays, someone's like, "That's her music," and then as it kept going, it's like, "That is her music."
Yeah, you haven't heard it in so long,
We haven't
right?
heard
Yeah.
As soon as you hear
so
the,
long.
as soon as you hear the French,
Yeah, exactly.
you're
right.
like, oh,
This
yeah.
is her
Oh,
song.
there's a language I don't understand. The double yes kick spot was hilarious.
That was great.
Oh yeah.
I love Corey Graves when
Oh,
that
yeah.
happened. This is classless because Corey is so behind like Miz is.
Yeah.
Oh my
Or
god,
I
because
like-
you couldn't hear his commentary.
Nope,
he
could
was
not.
hilarious.
stealing Daniel
Stealing-
Bryan's, yes kicks, or I don't know what he was saying.
Yeah,
I was just
stealing
like,
Daniel
what?
Just doing the it kicks for
The
yes
it
kicks.
kicks,
That was
yeah,
that
the
was
it
the
kicks.
thing.
That's what
Okay.
he was saying.
Yeah, and you didn't hear this after the match was over because he was on commentary. He says
Yeah.
Bree is beside herself. She realized she's not as good an athlete as Maurice, and her husband isn't as good as the Miz. I was like, I love Corey Graves.
Wow.
It's just hilarious.
No, he didn't. She didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Yeah,
He said, "What did you put?" Because I know exactly what he said.
he's not as good an athlete as Maurice.
Bree
Going
is
over the
not
notes,
a-
folks.
Bree is beside herself. She realized she's not as good an athlete as Maurice, and her husband isn't as good as Maurice either. That's what he said.
Oh, I heard Miz.
I heard Maurice either.
Oh wow. Okay, I have to go
That's
back
what
and listen
I
to that.
heard.
That's
I
what
don't know.
she
I
heard.
could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he basically said that neither one of them were as good as Maurice.
Or you're just trying to start drama.
Oh,
No, that's what I heard.
Rumors.
I told
think
you.
Tina's
Did you hear
recollection. I think
that?
I
Tina's
heard.
recollection is funnier though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's, and it
Maybe
sounds
something wrong with that.
more
Just
it
heelish and
sounds
funnier.
more like something Corey Graves would
Yeah.
say. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, Raw Women's Championship. We all know I got this one wrong. I'm the only one. Yeah. The entrances themselves for this match felt different from SummerSlam. Of course, Alexa brought her entourage, Mickey, James, and Alicia Fox. And then Ronda came in all smiles with Natalya. And I was like, it's a title match. Ronda, I like it when you come out. Serious face, you
Yeah.
know. Or as Alexa goes, grrr. But
Man.
this is like, I mean, Ronda's had a few matches under her belt, obviously. But this is the first time where I think she has sold very, very well.
Yes.
Shayna Baszler, this is how you sell. Nothing against you, you're getting better, but this is definitely how you
Yeah.
sell
Call
it.
her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do.
Compared to like past Ronda matches, this one felt more like a wrestling match. Some people have said with Ronda, they have to rehearse everything, they have to make sure it's right. This one felt like they were able to call a lot of it in the ring, certain areas of
Yeah.
it. It definitely felt that this felt like a wrestling match. It wasn't like 100%. We're going here, then we're going here, then we're going here. So, Alicia Fox's outfit. Renee Young says Alicia Fox is a walking distraction. Is it for you too?
Yeah, I told people she is Party City Rihanna. Yeah. That's what she is.
Yeah.
She's Party City Rihanna. that's
No, and it's funny. He says that.
blinds everything.
I heard you say flea market Rihanna.
I said that also. Flea Market Rihanna, Dollar Tree Rihanna, Party City Rihanna.
So now every
Alicia Fox's
time
upgrading.
attire.
So now every time I see her, I think of what Tez says, and I'm like, look, flea market Rihanna.
It'll catch on. It'll catch on now.
Yeah.
You'll all be saying it.
Flea Market Rihanna.
Poor,
She's thinking.
poor Alicia. Fox.
I
Hashtag
know.
Flea Market Rihanna.
She's such a good wrestler, but
She
you know,
is.
doing very
She
well.
really is.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
But great match. I mean, they both got work in. They really sold the rib thing well.
Yes.
And when it turned the other direction, And Ronda just get that serious face, and then you just look at Alexa's face like,
That was great.
You were
Oh,
laughing.
the best part was when Alexa goes "Rrr" to her, and she just you just see Ronda's face
would
gets
I
so
would destroy your
super
face.
pissed
I will destroy
and
your
mad,
face.
and then you just see Alexa's face like oh my god, what did
I
I
love her
just do?
faces. I love her. This is probably I'm a big fan. I
Talk
love her
to-
as a heel. I love her face. I love just
I will
her
say,
emotions.
I do agree with you. She just makes she makes the greatest faces.
Yes.
She reacts. Her face just shows it all.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
She's that old school heel mixed with like a new school,
Yeah.
flair to it as well. So I think that's why I'm a
Very
big fan.
very quick on her toes when she's talking.
That's not the reason why
That's
he's a
great.
fan.
No, that's
part of
It's
it.
probably,
He thinks that she's hot.
That too.
well, yeah, she is.
Just saying.
Yeah,
she's
she
still a
is.
great
Just
heel.
admit
Yeah.
it.
No, she's still a great heel.
Yes,
So
that too.
I mean, drop my pen.
That's what you get.
No,
Gravity works against you.
Yeah.
But like in Alexa Bliss.
My question though now is what's next for Ronda? I mean, she's booked in I think we have her and the Bella Twins against the Riot Squad at Superstar Showdown.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So and they really dealt with that Monday. It was
Yeah.
an open challenge. So Ronda was like, okay, I see what's coming out. Natty's music hits. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. And then the Riot Squad drags her out. So beyond that, I know we heard rumors of Ronda versus Nikki at Evolution. Please God no. Nikki right now feels like a part timer.
Yeah.
She is.
B, it's like you got to get some new blood in there.
Yeah.
So you're basically making it
she-
obvious that Ronda's going to keep it. So
Right.
Yeah.
We hope.
Oh, because who's booking the show?
Who's booking this crap?
Yeah.
yeah, they're not going to let they're not going to let
Who
the
booked this crap?
no, they're not going to let the baddest woman on the planet lose to Nikki Bella.
Well, it depends.
I
don't-
know we
I don't-
say that because
I don't
it
think
sounds
so.
like the smartest thing
And
to do.
I'm going to reiterate this later when we look at the record of who got the most rate on this pay-per-view. So
And we're 500. That's all I
okay,
care
okay.
about. That's near bowl game record.
Yeah. Now, after this match, Tina and I looked at each other and said, man, this has been a great show.
Yes.
Oh,
This
yeah,
has been
this
really
is
top to bottom.
this is probably the best pay-per-view in a while.
For a post SummerSlam,
And then
And now,
Universal Championship.
yes,
Yes.
time for this one.
Time for this one. The Red Cell, fully as a referee. Shout out to Mick. Love that you're a fan of Whataburger.
Whataburger fan, yes.
yeah,
Smart man. Smart man.
That was pretty awesome seeing the picture of you like in eternal bliss after this, just eating a hamburger. And I hope Whataburger gets you to do their promo because I'd love to see
That would
more
be
of you in
awesome.
Texas.
That would.
So it was Roman against Braun. This was Braun's Money in the Bank cash in. This was a no contest, so we never really even got this right or wrong. Because who the heck? I almost said hell. I guess I could say it because we're talking Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
How do you get a no contest on a Hell in a Cell match? That's what threw me off.
they figure out a way.
They figure out a way.
They figure out a way.
We'll make it happen.
Psychology wise, they're going at it. You have two monsters in it. They're beating the crap out of
man.
each other. They took kind of like a weak double down spot, and they're staying down the whole time.
Yes.
Their tag team partners are coming in, fighting on top of the cage,
Yeah.
taking bumps off the cage.
And I'm like, and they're still down.
They're still
Yeah.
down.
And the camera's not showing them. It would show like a white screen.
Oh, but
Yeah.
And so you could see them still down. And I'm like, really? Was it that double down? Really that?
but we saw him. We saw the whole time. I mean, while the camera was cutting toward whatever the Dogs of War and the rest of the Shield were doing, we were like, those of us in the arena were like,
What's going on in the match?
y'all just gonna stay there and
Yeah.
this
Chill,
is-
take a nap, you know?
this is it's a nap time. You're just gonna let these guys do
Granted,
everything. Granted, it was fun.
It
Yeah.
was a spear through a table, but still, it's like, come on,
Yeah.
I mean,
The match started off pretty good up until that point.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, particularly, I was a big fan of Braun taking the belt from Roman and then swinging out with it.
Yes.
And then Roman immediately starting with the punch. And I'm going to get into, you can expect how the crowd reacted when they came out. It's,
oh yeah, you
it's
can
kind
hear
of the
it.
same thing.
You can hear it. Yeah.
But another aspect, and this is probably not picked up in the pay-per-view, that kind of soured some people's mood on it was some of us had an interesting experience with some fans trying to get themselves over. So
Oh, yeah.
there's
There's always a few.
whole contingent of like a few rows of guys who actually came there together were screaming "We want blood," like all just throughout the entire main event match, and we're just like, logically, this is a PG product. There's not going to be any intentional blading on
Right.
on the show unless it happens by accident. And,
Right.
Like Hardy and
and
Orton had a little bit,
yeah, like that. But and it just they did it like it felt like every 3 minutes.
So
every
a lot
3
of
to 4
alcohol
minutes.
involved.
I'm sure of it.
Probably,
I'm sure
yeah.
I'm sure they were just trashed.
Too many top shelves.
Yeah, so that, so as far as like our little section of the arena, that kind of took the fun out of it because these guys are just being boisterous a-holes.
Yeah.
And then it was even during the points of the match where it was pretty good. And then we get to the Laurel and Hardy bit with McIntyre and Ziggler and Ambrose and Rollins going at it, and then the nice little prop fall off the half of the side of the cell,
Yeah.
the tables, and then Ambrose and McIntyre decide to what's Roman and Strowman doing? They're taking a nap too.
Yeah, nice
Yeah, they
little,
stayed
nice
on
little
top
double
of
down
the-
bump and stay on the
They
top of the
stayed on
cage.
top of the cage.
Yeah.
and I was
Although
like, what
Ambrose
just
climbing
happened?
up with a candlestick like he was a ninja, that was pretty
That
cool.
was
That was
That was
funny.
he
That
looked
was
like
funny.
Donnie. He
That
looked
guy
like
knows
Donnie.
Spider
That was
Dean,
awesome.
Spider Dean, yeah.
I was shaking as they were climbing up. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God. I was like, because I was on the couch, just on my phone watching it back and forth, and they started climbing up. I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
They
then
climbed down.
Yeah, well, and then the other two, I forgot who else was going up. I started shaking. I was like, oh my God. And then you see the top, how it just shakes. It's like,
Yeah.
it looks loose.
It was so
and-
nerve-wracking watching them walk
man.
and on that thing. I know it's better supported now than it was when
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And that's
that
what
was
I
so
wanted to see,
nerve-wracking.
actually. I wanted to see, I was like, okay, somebody's going to go through the cage. Somebody's going to go through, and then they didn't.
That's
Yeah.
such a dangerous bump. I
Ziggler
would
was
never do
rolling
that
at
I
again.
do
one
not
point.
want to see that at
I was
all.
scared.
No.
I was like, he's going to fall.
At least not unplanned anyway. 'cause-
Yes.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
second time going through, which was planned at No Way Out 2000, that was a much better watch.
Yeah, the one where he got knocked out and you remember the rest of the match.
Yeah.
Was nuts.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you watch, you know that Lesnar came out.
Yawn.
Surprised me only because you figure, okay, he's gone to UFC.
Yeah.
He's got a
We
certain
were
number of
shocked.
appearances.
We were both like, what is this guy
Waiting for the-
doing?
Waiting for the drug test
We're like-
to see if he's even going to have a match.
Well, we were.
Well, first of all, he's been training to fight Daniel Cormier supposedly beginning next
Yeah,
year.
supposedly.
Now, I don't know if it was the black shirt, but he looked like he's lost a lot of weight. He's
Oh,
gained
yeah,
weight.
he did.
Yeah.
Of course, he comes in. Paul Heyman is screaming at
The refs.
ref to open the cage, And Lesnar just kicks the door.
He's like, don't need it.
like, don't need it,
was
yeah.
that was cool.
That was pretty cool. And then Foley runs out, and Paul Heyman, who has no hair or barely any hair left, big bald spot, uses hairspray on Mick Foley's eyes.
Still trying.
It didn't look like mace; it looked like hairspray.
Probably so.
So I was just like,
It could have been.
"Hey, I'm not knocking.
Hair in
you.
a can.
I'm going bald too, Paul. It's all right." But that took Mick out of the match. He got some well-deserved Whataburger, as I mentioned earlier. Afterward,
It made him feel better.
yeah, and then Lesnar just lays waste, and all of a sudden he cares about the Universal Championship, even though he was never here to defend it when he had it. So,
He showed up to a pay-per-view.
oh my God,
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
He didn't have a title,
And he didn't have a
Not
title.
not a main pay-per-view.
exactly. I can't
Not
remember the
one of
last
the
time
big
he did
five.
that.
Not
so-
one of the big five, yeah.
Yeah,
He came in to interrupt nap time, and he
And
took
he
out two
showed.
guys during
Not
nap
only
time.
that, he did more moves than he normally does too.
Yeah.
Think about
True.
that.
So the show ends at this point.
His face is like. I'm just saying.
The show ends at this point, and I'm getting my friend Anthony, who's at the show. I don't remember where he was sitting with you. He texts me, entire arena screaming, "This is BS." Of course, he
Yes,
didn't say BS.
they
I'm
were.
screaming that. And there's video of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they said that WWE
yeah.
cut the cameras real quick.
Yeah, that was the in reaction, and that I understand particularly how the ending led up to it, and then Brock coming back. That was a big pop when Brock came back. I was just kind of, really, and then and then him basically taking out Reigns and Strowman during their nap time was like, well, sure, you beat two guys who were already kind of down, and you beat them with tables. That's exciting, I guess.
I think
I
it
don't
was
know.
more also the fact that everybody was hoping that Strowman would win because he was cashing in.
or just that we have a winner.
and
I mean,
and that
just to be a
that kind
winner.
of
Yeah.
that kind of made us a little upset because we're like, does that count now as he was an unsuccessful cash in?
see, that's the
assume
interesting thing
that's-
because when Cena cashed in, he won the match but won by DQ, but that cost him his cash in.
Yeah.
if a no contest is technically the match never took place, doesn't he get his briefcase back?
Yeah, he
That
will.
that's a good. I mean, that's
Obviously,
a good question. He's getting his next shot.
He's getting his next shot, but it's a
at-
triple
at-
threat
triple threat. True.
at the newly announced Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia again. 1 week after the all women's pay per view, we get another all men's pay per view. Now, Crown Jewel, I'm interested only because there's a World Cup tournament, the first ever that they're announcing for Crown Jewel. See what they do. But I love that when they told Strowman at the beginning of Raw, this is a funny story. Imagine my 17-month-old son sitting there watching TV, and yay, when Strowman comes. Every time Strowman says something, yay, he doesn't know what happens. And then everyone else talks, he's quiet. And then when Strowman says, that idea sucks, talk about the triple threat match, my son's like, yeah, you suck, yay, this sucks, yay, you suck as a GM, yay. I'm like,
That was
I'm
the best
so
thing
proud.
ever. I couldn't get my phone out fast enough to record it, so
It just,
sucks.
I don't understand why Lesnar doesn't make a lot of shows in the United States. I know he lives in Canada, away from everybody, but it's in the United States. But he'll make every Saudi Arabia show that they do. Because he was at Greatest Royal Rumble, which was a BS
I mean,
finish.
I guess that's why they book the way they book them.
Yeah.
But
I guess. I mean, he's
maybe
no
he
problem
likes
traveling.
maybe he likes going there. I don't know.
Too much sexism, but he likes it. All right. I don't know. I get he's a special attraction. That's how Vince sees him. But at some point,
get a new special attraction.
you have guys that are stepping
Please.
up. You have Braun Strowman that is stepping up. He's
Which
prime.
might bring up another thing later. A new special attraction.
Yeah, I mean, Braun is stepping up. You got guys that can take this and run with it, that can make the Universal Championship mean something. You put it on Lesnar again, it's not going to mean anything. It meant something when it was on Kevin Owens, not so much on Goldberg, even less on Lesnar. So get it on somebody that's here full time. That's just, my thoughts on it. So
I feel like that was
that
that KO built it up to be this great thing, and he was defending it, and then all of a sudden they took it away from him, and it just like went to crap.
Yeah.
Just the balloon just.
Yeah.
You put two temporary guys. I mean, granted, the whole Goldberg Lesnar thing was entertaining. And they finally got the WrestleMania match they should have had years ago. But so that was Hell in a Cell. As far as our picks go, Tez went 4-3.
Over 500.
Over 500. I went 5-2. Jericho went 6-1. And Tina 7-0.
That's right. And again, that's why I was bringing up when y'all were saying, "Oh, who's booking the show?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm just saying." 7-0. 7-0.
Tina is the best. Tina's number one. Now, before we get into our WrestleCast ratings, we got one comment on YouTube. I want to say it was about the show, but it was from Emrod V2. I know it's you, Mike. Best
Big
friend
Mike,
here.
that was the best comment
Yeah,
ever.
it says, man, JC is such an Alexa Bliss mark. Great show, guys. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I am. You know this. Love Alexa. But Mike, glad you're enjoying the show. We need to get you on here too, man. One of the biggest wrestling fans I know. I'd love to have you on here. Yeah. So we're going to do our WrestleCast ratings now. This is on a scale of 0 to 5, 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember.
Is that more of a -2?
Yeah, well, 0 is the lowest you can go. I guess that counts, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm talking about WWE ECW December to Dismember, right?
Yeah, so technically that's
So we'll kind of get everyone's rating in order of how they did on the picks. So Tez, plus you were there, so you can give us your rating and why.
I would say the only thing that really brought it down was everything after the first half of the main event. That's when everything started to go downhill. So based on that, I think I can get it away with a solid 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you on that. I had a 4 out of 5 on it. 4.0. You guys can go decimals here. It's just the show was great up and down. It was just that ending. It kind of brought it down, which kind of sucks. I know it's about the journey, not necessarily about the end, but overall it was great. It was for a non-Big 5 pay-per-view, this one really stood out. And dare I say, out of the non-Big 5, this is probably one of the best ones of the year thus far.
I agree.
Thank you for bringing that to San Antonio.
Yes.
Keep coming back. We're a great crowd. So
love wrestling here.
Love wrestling here. So that I definitely say 4.0 out of it. Jericho, what about you? You went 6-1.
I always have to be when we do our Geekcast reviews, I always have to be that guy that does the decimal. So I'm gonna go 4.5.
4.5. All right.
Because
I was fighting with that.
everything was great, and yeah, just like y'all said, after the last half of that main event, felt kind of robbed. You know, like there were like 20 minutes that they could have done something for 20, even 10, 15 minutes.
And they actually went off air early too.
Yeah.
I think they had like 15, 20 minutes.
Well,
to go.
probably because of the whole.
They cut it off for y'all.
Yeah, because of the BS.
It was
chant.
still it was still going, and you're gonna get some spoiled fans going, well, they need to come back here so they can make up for this. This whole pay-per-view sucks. So it's
Come
like,
on.
You got a great
It was
pay-per-view.
half a
Yeah,
match.
it was
calm
great.
down.
Got a
It's
great
half
pay-per-view.
match.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah.
We watch it again on the network, and you'll have a different feeling what you're expressing right now.
Yeah.
So 4.5 for me.
It's like a Montreal Screwjob quick cut, right?
Or CM Punk, but he got no graphic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, Tina, you went 7-0. How would you rate this?
I'm
pay-per-view?
gonna go with a 4.5, like Jericho.
Okay.
Just because the ending was like, oh my god, what? That's it. What just happened? That's what I felt like. But everything else, like all the other matches were great. But I still think, in my opinion, match of the night was probably Becky and Charlotte. To me.
Yeah, I think that was for me too.
Felt like that in the crowd too.
That was the match the crowd was 100% invested.
Yes.
And the entrances, everything, even the pre-match vignette that they played. That for me was definitely made a match of the night. So that brings, with all our ratings in, an overall Geekcast rating, or WrestleCast rating, excuse me, to 4.25. Great show, WWE.
Good job, on the show.
Yeah, good job.
Really good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Make sure the next ones are just as good, I hope.
Yeah, keep coming back.
Yes.
Yes.
Enjoyed the Red Cell too. That was really awesome.
Yeah, that was actually good.
So now from here we go to Super Showdown, which pretty much every match is just about set. We mentioned that on Raw they announced Crown Jewel, which is the Saudi Arabia show. Undertaker came out for the last time ever match against Triple H. That's going to be a super. We'll see, but Triple H is going to have Shawn Michaels in his corner. And Taker is going to announce that he's going to have his brother Mayor Kane in his corner.
Mayor.
Don't forget the title he earned.
Yes.
Mayor.
Guess there's nothing going on in Knox County. He's got some time to go to Australia. But
I think WWE made a donation to a charitable foundation in there for taking their mayor for a little bit.
all right.
So
Okay, if they're pouring money into that county, sure.
yeah.
Raw, we also got the return of Nia Jax
Which was great.
as Ember Moon's mystery partner against Alicia Fox and Mickie James.
Yes, my waifu.
All
Yeah.
Your wifey?
Yeah. Yes.
right. Cool.
Or as Tommy,
Becky Lynch
as,
is my crush.
as Tommy says, and I quote, "She scares me and turns me on at the same time."
Same here. Same
That's
here.
what Tommy says. Not me, but
It's a strange feeling, yet very fascinating.
yeah.
I'll take
Yeah.
your word for it. I really don't
Yeah.
want to know. It was good to see Nia back. She looked really good. The crowd reacted to her very well, and she worked well
Yes.
with Ember Moon. In the
Oh, and
ring.
again, Alexa Bliss's face.
Alexa Bliss
great.
has those faces.
Great.
Like, oh my God, what is she doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if her arm injury is legit or work from the match that she had with Ronda. I'd have to go back and watch to see if there's a spot where she did hurt her arm. But
They're doing a pretty good job keeping that ambiguous.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are. And she didn't even show up on the Mixed Match Challenge last night when
Yeah.
Ember Moon ended up teaming with
So JC has
Braun Strowman.
Yes,
JC has a theory
With what?
that is a work.
I have a theory it's a work, and here's my thing. First of all, the finish of that Mixed Match Challenge match where Ember hit a Eclipse off of Strowman's shoulders
That was great.
awesome.
Yes.
It's the best.
You guys haven't seen that? Go on
Yes.
Facebook, watch and
It's
watch.
wonderful.
It was amazing. I think they might be keeping this up as this team is working well together, and maybe Alexa will try and come back and be a part of this team. Either cost them a match, cost them a championship, or there's going to be a weird love triangle between Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss, and Ember Moon.
A storyline I never knew I wanted.
Only because they teased this so much with Braun and Alexa, the first
Yeah.
Mixed Match
They
Challenge.
did a good job of that. Too.
Yeah.
But you also said it could be because that Alexa might be showing up to like ruin either like Ronda or somebody else's match. That's what you told me. Like Ronda's next match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or her singles match.
So many theories
that
run through my head.
That she would
Yeah.
ruin the match, even though she's injured. She's not going to be injured. She's going to
Yeah.
just show up and ruin the match. That's
We'll
what you.
see.
That's what you told me. So.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
another option. There's so many theories running through my head too. Shout out to Gregory James and Barrett Brown. If you're a fan of independent wrestling in Texas, these two guys have been on the indie scene down here for so long, and they did such a great job of getting their butts kicked by AOP on Raw. It's cool when
looked painful.
it's cool when WWE comes through town because you're always looking for look for the extras, look for the jobbers. Are they
Who do I
guys
know?
that
Who do
we
I
Yeah,
know?
who do we
Who do I
know? Shout out Chris Marvel, who was a security guard years ago on Raw.
And Mike Dell, who was a counselor.
Mike Dell, who was a
Yes.
counselor.
Oh, that's
right.
I marked
Yeah.
out so hard when I saw him on there.
Pretty cool to see. Also on Raw, we got Rollins defeating Dolph Ziggler in an Intercontinental Championship Ziggler's rematch, which was a great match.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Roman against Baron Corbin, which was more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Surprisingly, yes.
Okay, everybody got involved, which was really good.
It made me remember that. Oh yeah, Roman Reigns has good matches.
He does.
Yeah.
He
He can,
does.
yeah.
He can.
Yeah.
And
He can do it.
just let him do his thing. Let him talk how he needs to talk, how he knows his character will talk. Don't script it for him.
Yeah.
As far as the Road to Super Showdown, these guys are doing Battle of the Shield versus the Dogs of War and Braun Strowman. How that will lead into, we know Crown Jewel's a triple threat. So where we go from there, we just kind of see how it plays out, see how they build it up. Now, SmackDown, this was interesting to me. Daniel Bryan and The Miz have announced for Super Showdown is going to be for the number one contender of the WWE Championship.
Which I thought was interesting too.
Yeah.
I was like, what? You're going to ruin my AJ Styles beating the CM Punk's record if you're going to do that.
Or will they?
Or will they? I don't know.
So that'd be an interesting thing. Like if Bryan wins this, you could have The Miz costing him the title.
True.
If Miz, you could have Daniel Bryan costing him the title. There's so many ways they can go with this.
That's true.
It's true. I still don't like it.
Yeah. Now, then, of course, I mentioned Aiden English turning on Rusev, which is a big SmackDown moment as well. Now, other news that has come up, and I've been doing a little, reading. There's some rumors out there. These are rumors. I don't know if it's real. But I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. We know that Taker and Triple H are wrestling at Super Showdown with Kane and Shawn Michaels in their respective corners. Now, there's rumors out there that there could be a DX reunion at Crown Jewel, Triple H and Shawn Michaels against Undertaker and Kane. I love Shawn Michaels. I think everybody here in San Antonio really does. He's the hometown guy. But one thing I have really enjoyed more about him is he has stayed true to his retirement. It's not to say I don't want to see him wrestle again. I would love to see it. But there's so many times we get storyline, okay, lose, your career's over.
Yeah.
And it's not over.
Yeah, we got that with Flair. And Flair went to TNA and still wrestled, and it just wasn't the same. And they even covered that on the 30 for 30 about Nature Boy, if you guys haven't seen that on ESPN.
Yeah. It's really good.
I don't know how I feel about this. If there's a storyline where Shawn has to come back and wrestle, it has to be The Undertaker. Granted, when Royal Rumble was here last year, we all thought, okay, maybe AJ Styles, but that wouldn't really make sense. I mean, I would love to have seen the match.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
But how do you have Taker's permission to do that? I mean, he's the guy that put you in retirement. But thoughts, guys, do you think Shawn Michaels should come out and wrestle this match?
I mean, it'd be great to see him back.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, everything you said, when a wrestler retires, I kind of want to see him stay retired and kind of hold true to that. Because, I mean, you can get into whole arguments about what's real and what's not, and what's kayfabe and what's real, and the lines have been blurred for such a long time regarding real and kayfabe. But as much as I would love to see him back, I just kind of want him to take more of a backseat role.
Yeah, he could do that.
Yeah,
which would be great. So
yeah,
and he Michaels even talked about it too when he was calling out Taker, and he was saying, I stayed retired, unlike you, so it's for him to say that, and then a few weeks later he comes back wrestling. Like, it's like, why'd you say it then?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would love to see him wrestle. That would be great, but
the storyline has to make sense, I think.
I think the interaction though was Undertaker was basically like throwing things at him, like, hey, are you scared? Are you, all this stuff? And you see, HBK's face was just like, what? Like, no. But at the same time, the way they were talking, it kind of makes me seem like they're building that up. And
Yeah.
As much as I would love to see that because he's my favorite wrestler ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with JC as well. It's like you want somebody to say they're retired, they're retired.
Yeah.
You want your
It
legacy
gets
to be
a little annoying when someone says, I'm going to retire, and then they don't. And it's just like,
Hi, Terry Funk. How you doing?
you want your legacy to be that WrestleMania main event in Phoenix. The year after you and Undertaker had put down an epic match.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was going to be good, but nobody thought it was going to be that
man,
good.
it's great.
Yes.
We were going nuts watching that at our old house. So,
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I'll watch it either way, to be honest with you. But I would love to see Shawn stay retired. You can take on another backstage type role. I don't know, maybe do a DX reunion with Road Dogg or something. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, we'll see how that sets up. Other news, WWE Network announced their new Wednesday lineup. They moved 205 Live to Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central, followed by NXT at 7 and the Mae Young Classic at 8. I actually like this better for 205 Live, personally, only because when you put them right after SmackDown, people have to turn the TV off and then switch on their phones or switch on the Roku in our case and put it on.
Yeah.
And not as many people will watch it. I think if you have it right before NXT as the lead-in, you get more eyes on it and more people vested in it. So
Yeah.
I know this might be something temporary only because the Mixed Match Challenge and the Mae Young Classic are going on.
Yeah.
But I hope 205 Live's Wednesday slot stays permanent.
So. I think schedule-wise, just work. I feel it just works better that way. You watch live TV or whatnot for Raw, and you spend 3 hours. Watching it.
Don't you love that?
And then I love it so much. And then 2 hours on SmackDown, and then Wednesday there's no traditional on television programming for WWE. So I can just turn on the network on whatever device I have it on and just watch that for 3 hours, and it's digestible because you have 3 different shows, and maybe you just want to watch one, whether that be 205 Live or NXT. But you still have this great variety, and maybe you'll keep it on a little longer just for the heck of it. And you're going to see this. It's the old lead-in strategy that TBS used to use back in the day when they used to put on wrestling to help introduce new shows. People just leave their channels on.
USA
TBS,
does it too now.
USA too.
They use SmackDown to lead into the Purge, which has been a great TV series too.
Oh, they did it too.
Good.
They
really
even did it for the Miz.
Yeah.
So
Miz and Mrs. That's right.
Miz and Mrs.
Yeah.
They had SmackDown and then they had Miz and Mrs. and that was like the best thing ever because you would watch SmackDown and then you're like, I kind of want to see what this thing's all about, and then you watch Miz and Mrs. and you wouldn't stop laughing.
Can't wait for season 2 because I love me some Marjo. She is hilarious. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's that great timed and true and used programming strategy.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. And use it on the network. So I hope this stays true for 205 Live.
Yeah.
And then this news broke today, shortly before we started recording, that Mysterio has signed a 2-year deal with WWE. He showed up at the Royal Rumble. He showed up at Greatest Royal Rumble. He was on All In, and he basically...
buff.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yes.
Especially in his Wolverine outfit on All In.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
He had said on Cole Cabana's podcast when they were interviewing him at All In that he's just kind of finishing things up and he's back and forth with WWE. He got a 2-year deal out of it, which I don't know when he's going to start. I'm assuming it's leading into Survivor Series somewhere.
Probably.
Or
Royal Rumble
maybe
if they
the
want to
Rumble.
really
Royal
wait.
Rumble if they want to wait.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can bring him in Survivor Series somehow. That'd be a great surprise. Although some people think you could
Just don't put him 30 in the Rumble. Poor guy.
We know that went.
We know. Remember that.
It was not his. It wasn't even his fault.
It wasn't his
Poor
fault.
guy.
his
I
fault.
felt so bad.
Yeah.
But I was mad at the same time.
Now we,
He was crying.
Oh yeah, I was upset, but not at him.
Yeah, not at him.
yeah. Now, earlier in the show, we just want to send our congrats again to Becky Lynch, the
Yay.
2-time SmackDown Women's Champion.
The
Well-deserved.
relentless
Relentless kicker. Enjoy this title run. I hope this one goes even better than your first one.
Yes.
And you work up some amazing feud with Charlotte and anyone else that comes your way. And then, I don't know if this is really a congrats, but it's Matt Hardy announcing his retirement. We kind of knew this was coming just from things he put on Twitter. Some news about, I think his pelvis had been starting to fuse or something like that.
Very diffused.
Yeah,
Yes.
just for so many bumps with his neck.
Yeah.
Hard to think. The Hardy Boys debuted on WWE in 20 years ago, 1998. And even before that, they were on WWE TV through random tryout matches, and then they were the guys holding the door that won King of the Ring.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yes, they were.
Go back and look closely. That's Jeff and Matt Hardy.
Yes.
Matt's career has been it's been a roller coaster. I watched WWE 24 about the Hardys. It covers the time from when they left WWE to how they got back and just everything they dealt with from
it's a really good watch.
drugs and relapses and getting clean. Hardy, I think, is the first one that really took WWE into the social media realm of it. Mm-hmm. If you guys can remember the story where he was dating Lita at the time in real life, and then he revealed on his blog on the internet that she had cheated on him with Edge, who was married to someone else at the time, and that was weird. It was kind of a that news came out, and WWE got in so much trouble for it. Like, take it down. They ended up just firing him, even though he was the one that was wronged. Yeah. But it was the first few that kind of blended realism with kayfabe. Yeah. You know, Hardy from there went on to wrestle Independence. I think I have a match I found on a random independent show where he wrestled AJ Styles.
Wow.
Awesome. I'll have to show that to you later.
Nice.
Are you telling me this now?
I thought I showed it to you before, but I guess you hadn't heard about that.
No.
And then when he was like teasing the comeback, like when Edge and Lita were quote unquote getting married storyline, anybody have any objections? And Matt Hardy's music plays, but he doesn't come out. That was a nice tease. And just at random times, he would attack him in the crowd while he was still working Ring of Honor and other shows. Yeah. And like, is he under contract? Is he not?
Attacking him backstage.
Yeah, attacking him backstage and security escorting him like he's not supposed to be there. But that led into him getting re-signed and him having a street fight against Edge. And they beat the crap out of each other. I've never seen a stiffer match on WWE.
It needed to happen.
Yeah, it needed to happen. Where his career went from that, you know, drug issues, painkillers, and stuff like that. Yeah. But he brought in his broken brilliance when he was in TNA. Wow, what a resurgence.
It's one of the things I love showing people who haven't watched wrestling in a while or just haven't watched wrestling, just so I can let them know how absurd and awesome it can be.
It just grows on you. It's like, it's so bad it's good. It was really good.
I told my brother-in-law about it when he was rumored about him coming back, both of them coming back. And I was like, you got to check this out, how he is on TNA, and it's ridiculous.
It's the Plan 9 from outer space of wrestling.
Exactly.
Is great.
You know, when he brought it to WWE, he had to they were doing the whole cease and desist, who owns the intellectual property. Yeah. It was Matt's creation from the beginning.
Yes.
So he Woken.
You know, he still did the deletes. I mean, I went to Raw with my dad in January when he was here at the AT&T Center, and when he came out and just delete the whole crowd, going like, Dad's like, what the hell's going on? Well, just enjoy it, Dad. It's fun.
JC's dad doesn't watch wrestling, so
it was his first wrestling show since the Lucha show in the Valley when he was a kid.
Oh wow! Yeah,
so he was probably like, what's going on?
Yeah, but I mean, he enjoyed it. He had fun. Yeah. Still, just his mind for that, and even when he finally got this character on WWE TV, Vince said, "You got all creative control over this. You know, maybe I'll book how these matches go, but you're the one that puts together how this works." And it was really well done. I'm going to miss seeing him on TV. I hope. He did say in his video, you never say never in wrestling.
That's true.
And I'm hoping that maybe he gets healthy, does some DDP yoga.
I was about to
Jericho.
say that. I was about to say that. I was like,
we can send
DDP saving everybody's lives here.
Yeah. I'll send you. I have a copy at home. I'll send you the copy that you need.
We'll do it with you if you come through San Antonio.
I'm sure DDP will give him one.
Probably, if he hasn't already. So, you know.
He got the Young Bucks on it. Why not?
Yeah, he's got everybody. I mean, and he's following up with the Young Bucks on it, too.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Cool. Oh, nice.
That's cool.
So that's our show for today. We'll be back in a couple of weeks to preview Super Showdown. We're going to take a week off just because no big events coming up right now, and just prepare for our Super Showdown. Send us a tweet at @CCG_WrestleCast with your predictions for the show. You can find a list of matches online. Just do a nice little Google search. Or you can comment on this video with what your predictions may be for the show as well. So thanks again for watching. This is Tez here.
See you guys later. It's been fun being on the show for the last 2 episodes, and I will fade into the ether.
I hope you'll be back.
What?
Don't make it sound like you're not coming back.
JC, I don't feel so good.
Oh, no.
That's Jericho.
I have to follow that.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Well, he has to pixelate me.
I was going to do it. I was going to say delete, but I can't be too loud, so see y'all.
It's my wife, Tina.
Bye, guys. Don't forget to subscribe.
And I'm JC, and until next time, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake.